and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to Outdoors People, with me, C.W. Getz, and her, Maya Marzaki. Good evening. It's Wednesday, January 25th, 2023, and we have a 33-degree, cloudy, yucky little day here in Chicagoland area. That actually is 1 degree Celsius, Maya. So 1 degree, just above the freezing. Yeah, what do you got down there in Sao Paulo, Brazil?
So here it is 31 Celsius, and for you guys in United States, 88 Fahrenheit.
Interesting. Still much, man, I wish I were where you're at. It just sounds beautiful.
It is
maybe this
such
summer.
a beautiful summer.
Absolutely. So, well, tonight's episode of Outdoors People is brought to you by Rutabaga Paddle Sports, providing time on the water.
By Campground Views, making camping easier.
By Duluth Pack, made in the USA since 1882.
And by Jackson Kayak, pursuing joy through paddle sports.
Tonight's episode is Clean Nutrition and Staying Active as We Age with our special guest, Kim Alexis. 62-year-old Kim Alexis grew up in the suburbs of Buffalo, New York. An athlete by the age of 6, she became a competitive swimmer her senior year in high school. Having been discovered at age 17 in a Buffalo, New York agency, Kim quickly became one of the top models of the late 1970s and 1980s. By 1983, she had become the face of Revlon's top line of makeup, replacing Laura Hutton. In the 1990s, Kim appeared on the last episode of Cheers, One for the Road, and also in the movie Holy Man with Eddie Murphy. She was the fashion correspondent on Good Morning America, and from there went on to host a number of television shows on the Food Network, TV Land, the Family Channel, and Lifetime. She was also a judge for the Miss World, Miss Universe, Miss America, and Miss Teen USA contests. With over 100 advertisement features, Kim has starred in numerous TV commercials such as Swan, Revlon, and the Beef Council, and was a featured guest on Oprah, Larry King Live, Fox News, CNBC, and Dateline. Having appeared on over 500 magazine covers, including Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, Cosmopolitan, and being featured in 6 Sports Illustrated swimsuit issues, she still holds the record for the most cover appearances on Glamour magazine. Kim authored 9 books, including A Model for a Better Future, With a Little Luck, and Beauty to Die For, as well as 6 eBooks, Modeling, How to Be Discovered, Lean Clean, Cheat Eat, My Healthy Thyroid, Dieting Lessons, and Nap Zap, all available on Amazon. Athletically, Kim competed 8 marathons, 8 marathons, 3 triathlons, and is a spokesperson for fitness, health, and lifestyle products she believes in. She has broadened her own brand of products to encourage women at any age to continue to stay healthy and active. Passionate in her Christian faith, a mother to 3 grown sons, and a true conservative, Kim is committed to setting healthy boundaries and staying true to herself. And with that, welcome to the show, Kim.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Whoa, such a pleasure having you in here.
Yes, great to have you on the show, Kim. Thanks for being here with us.
That was a nice bio. It's long.
I'm telling you, it was so impressive. I said, I have to put all this stuff in there because it is what it is, and it's all true. And so, hey, why not?
Right? And I'm glad you said I finished 8 marathons instead of just 3, because those other ones were painful.
Oh, I can imagine. I can't even imagine running one of those. Yeah.
I'm not able to run 5 kilometers. Imagine a marathon. So congratulations for all of them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So there are lots that we want to hear about you, but let's start with you telling us about your rescue dog and kitten.
Yeah, actually, right down here, you could probably hear me groaning. So yeah, my husband and I've never been to a pound before, and my husband saw a dog on social media, and it was at the pound. So he literally said, "Let's just go." So we were already in the car, and went to the pound, and there were like 400 dogs there, and a lot of them wanted to eat us through the cage. And this one that we have just really wanted to like lean against the cage and have us rub him through the cage. He just wanted to be pet and rubbed. He wasn't barking. So he didn't have a tail. So I said to my husband, I called him Stump. I said, just, I like that dog Stump. And so I think he's dog number 206 out of like the 400 that were there. So he was there, and they'd found him on the streets in Phoenix, and had a couple more days before he could be released. So we went home, and I'm like, no, we can't do that. We can't get a dog. Like, you start thinking of all these things. And then by the next morning I woke up and I'm like, I can't leave him there. I have to go get him. So we got him at 56 pounds. The vet said he was 9 months old. I think he was more like 6, because he's now 140.
Oh, wow.
So he's the dog, all the guys in the neighborhood. He goes out for his walk every day, and he's got his little routine, and all the different guys that are out. Hi, Stump. How you doing? He's the guy's dog. He's got a rotty body. He's got a shepherd head, and he's just a big, lovable giant. So he's wonderful.
Oh.
And so then my husband's never had a cat before. I used to have, I've had cats from cougars to servals to regular domestic cats. So I've had a lot of different cats. And so we thought we wanted a Maine Coon, but we couldn't find any. So we went to the pound, and there's this little kitten. Well, it ended up falling asleep on his stomach, and he's like, "This is the one. I just love this cat. I want this cuddle." And so we got her on the first day of summer. So we decided to call her Summer. So she's now about 9-10 months old. She gets heavy whipping cream, so her fur is beautiful, and she's a kick. I mean, she's funny. Of course, my husband comes home and he says, "Where's my little girl? Where's my precious?" Not talking about me.
So he's a cat fan. He's a cat fan for sure now, right?
He is now, yeah.
That's so cool.
Well, that's cute.
Story. And good for you to get rescue. Noble thing to do. Absolutely.
Well, my husband's even on the task force now to get a new director for animal care and control. He's been on the committee before. So we are looking in Phoenix for an animal care and control director.
Oh, great. That's good. Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, Kim, I tell you what.
Really nice.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, sorry. I just said it's really nice of you guys.
Well, Kim, we got a little bit of a surprise. We have a commercial of yours that you did back in 1980. This is for Sauve shampoo. And
it's really not even my voice. I bet you it's not even my voice. I didn't know what I was doing back then. So go ahead, run it. Go run it.
Well, actually, I remember this commercial, so it's pretty cool to see this again. When I saw this in the air, I go, wow, I remember that. So, Juan, if we could have you play that for us, let's take a look at it.
You've been using one of the expensive conditioning shampoos. Now you're trying new Sauve.
It's the same difference.
Sauve's gentle, creamy lather is enriched with protein.
It's the same difference.
Sauve conditioning shampoo leaves your hair clean, shiny, and easy to work with.
It's the same difference.
But Sauve costs a whole lot less money.
That's not the same difference.
Sauve does what theirs does and costs a third less.
That's not the same difference at all.
That was excellent. That was excellent. I love that commercial, man. I love it.
Yeah. Can you tell it's not my voice?
Well, you know what? I wasn't
different.
sure.
I mean, I don't talk that way, so.
I wasn't sure. So they really dubbed a voice in there.
Yeah, it was one of my first commercials, and I remember being on set, and you've got all these lights in front of you, so you really can't see the audience behind you. And there's probably 30 people in the audience, meaning directors and different people from agencies and probably from Sauve. And so they're all whispering, and you keep trying to deliver your lines, and the director's like, well, let's try it this way. And, let's try that. And I mean, I was like, okay, I know I'm doing something wrong, but I don't have the tools to fix it. I just couldn't figure out what they wanted.
Yeah.
So I think that they just in post decided we're just going to use someone else. So since then, I've had a lot of voice training and I know how to do commercials now.
Interesting. Interesting. No, I never did know that. And I kind of thought, well, her voice was probably just higher back then. Like, all of us
Right.
when we were
Right.
younger. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Kim, let me ask you, what motivated you to explore healthier food alternatives and healthier alternatives for cleaning products as well as personal hygiene products? What motivated you there?
I'm not sure what would be motivating. I think it's just number one, I was going to go to pharmacy school. So I wanted to be a pharmacist before I was discovered to go to New York. So there must have been something in me with, if you take this, it affects you this way. And so that's been in my brain all these years. And for me to try and stay healthy and keep young, I feel it's important to stay as clean and natural as possible. So I started looking into products and I realized, oh my gosh, that's not good for you. And then I remember someone said, when you mop your floors, your dogs, don't let your dogs walk on it because it's bad for their paws and it's like toxic. I'm like, well, what about humans? Like, so I started all these things I started thinking, I'm like, wait, what do you mean? Like, and so I started realizing, because I've been in marketing so long, that products tell you what it does for you. I started to want to know what products do to you, to your health.
Yeah.
And so I realized that sometimes to have a product and make it do something that you want it to do, let's say a fragrance to last for 12 hours, it's not going to be natural.
Yeah.
So it might be harmful in the long run to your health. And so the more I started researching it, and I'm learning as I go. So the more I started researching, the more I realized that, oh my gosh, I just have to stay on top of this because they're not going to tell me on the product.
Right. And why would they? Because if you knew, you probably wouldn't even buy it, I guess.
Well, some will claim things like, literally I'll go armed with a list of, okay, this one's perfect and super clean, and I'll go in the store and then they don't have it. And then I see like what it will say on the product and it'll say, this one's non-toxic or all natural, certain keywords. And you're like, oh, great, I get it. And then I take it back and I look under my website that tells how toxic it is and how bad for you it is. I'm like, oh wow. No, I just got a C or I just got a D instead of an A. I want an A.
Well, I got a kick out of the fact that when I asked you, we talked before the show and I saw a post you did and you said, when I mop my floors barefoot, and I thought, wait a minute, supermodels do that too? Because that's what I do. So yeah, it's like, I don't mention the product, but yeah, I do the same thing
and we step in it. And then
yes, exactly.
There's certain products that we want, whether it's a pharmaceutical or hormone cream, we want them to absorb into our skin. They're systemic. They go into your skin to work. So our skin does absorb everything we put on it and put in it and sleep on and what we wash our clothes with. And
sure.
So it all affects us in one way or the other.
Yeah.
That's so important. And people just do not tell us. And here in Brazil, we just started talking about that. So really annoying to look for good products. So I'm glad that you know and do something about.
Trying.
And with regard to healthier food alternatives, what are some of the ones you like to use?
There's tons. I actually wrote a book on it called Cheat Eat because I love to eat and I wanted to be able to have chocolate chip cookies and not feel so guilty about it. So let's say I make chocolate chip cookies and I don't want, and a lot of times I like the dough. So let's say I don't want to eat raw cookie dough with egg. So I will make chocolate chip cookies and I'll use a really good oil like a coconut oil or whatever I have in my pantry. I don't use lard. I do use butter. I'm not vegan anymore. So I would use a pure butter once in a while and cut it down with a little water. But if I'm trying to do an egg alternative, I'll either take my chia seeds or my flax meal that's been ground up, put a little water in it, put it in a little bowl for like 5 minutes and let it turn kind of jelly-like. And then I dump that in as an egg substitute. So I'll do that. And then instead of regular white sugar and brown sugar, number one, I cut the sugar way lower than what they normally claim. Can't imagine putting like 3-4 cups of sugar in a batch of cookies. I use monk fruit for a lot of times, or I have the stevia baking powder.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I went even healthier, I would either do, why am I blanking out? What carob chips? Either carob chips, but I do like chocolate. So sometimes you can even make your own chocolate, but I have not gone that far.
Interesting. Well, now, so let me ask you, how are you incorporating these things? And I think you kind of just answered that, how you're incorporating these things in your daily meal recipes. I
replace. I don't ever really follow a recipe. So I know what food does when it's mixed together. And so I'll see a recipe. So for instance, my husband had a birthday last week and I went to the store. I don't have graham crackers. So I went to the store to make him a healthy graham cracker crust. And so I'm following along, doing the recipe for the insides. And I had the cream cheese. And so I'm whipping it up. And then it says a cup of sour cream. And I'm like, I don't have sour cream. So instead of going back to the store, I literally took plain whole yogurt and a little bit of that whey water that was kind of lurking around there. Sometimes, when you've opened it already and it's there. Right. So I put a plain yogurt. Now, I'm not really a big measure, so sorry, and a little bit splash of lemon juice, and then just a splash of eggnog. And don't ask me why, but I just I'm like this mad scientist who likes to mix it up. And I'd never made the recipe before in my life, and we had it, and I used monk fruit instead of the regular sugar, and it was light, and it was fluffy, and it was good, and we didn't feel guilty, and we weren't stuffed, and so I got a big thumbs up from my husband.
Well, that's part of that chemistry background that you have, that you're able to create things and make things out of one thing out of something else. In fact, I do kind of remember what you just said, and I don't remember what it was, but I remember the lemon juice put in with it to make the sour cream. So yeah, I have heard some variation of that before. That's
right.
Pretty cool. And so I was going to ask you, Juan, you've got that recipe sheet that you can put up on the screen. I sent Kim a couple of recipes, basically recipes that we use camping. And I asked her, I said, hey, do you have any suggestions for replacements for some of these things? So Juan, if you can put that up on the screen,
are you going to do before and after, or just my suggestions?
Well, I've got your suggestions here, but why don't you go ahead, if you've got them, go ahead and read them, and you can use what's on the screen as the recipe.
Oh, you're on the meatloaf. Hold on, I got to turn the page.
Yep.
I make my printer print on both sides to save paper. Okay. So you got the ground beef. Obviously, if you don't want ground beef, you could use ground turkey or ground chicken. Quick oats are fine. I just don't like the instant oats. They're not as good for you, and I think that they're more filled with carbohydrates. It's not good, like if you're dieting, to use like the instant that you add the hot water to. Eggs. Yeah. So, but quick oat, I never buy quick oats. I don't know why. Because see, they're using the term quick. So what are they doing to the oats to make it quick? That's what my thought is. So I would just use regular oats. I don't know about steel cut because it has to take a little bit longer for the moisture to absorb. If you did use steel cut, if that's all you've got, you may want to add just a little more liquid and let it sit for a while.
Okay, I
see. We talked about eggs, so you can use flax meal and mix it with a little water in a little bowl. It's about a tablespoon, and then whatever water makes it seem enough to have the consistency of an egg. So again, I'm not good at measuring. Ketchup. What is catsup? I don't even know. My grandmother used to say that. I know it's like. I know.
I took that spelling from.
They messed up. Well, no, some people call it catsup, but they mess that up big time. And there's sugar in there. There's some certain chemicals in some of it. So if you really want to stay pure, I would prefer to do like an organic tomato paste.
Okay.
You just again watch the water because that might be a little bit thicker. Salt.
Okay.
Some people don't like salt. If you're out hiking, I believe you need it. I would use pink Himalayan or sea salt. Celery salt is good, but keep in mind celery is a diuretic. Celery salt or celery seeds are a diuretic.
Oh.
Black pepper and milk. And if you don't want milk, you could use oat milk or rice milk or any of the other ones. And then onion flakes. But just watch and remember that all spices or almost all spices that we buy have pesticides. unless it says something differently.
Oh, wow. You know what? Just from one recipe, I have learned a bunch.
Right, such a good call.
Yeah, I don't know if it's good or bad to have this mind of mine, but I mean, I would just look at that and just change the whole thing up. That's all. Just
Right.
like my mad little chemistry.
Can
How
you
about
message
burritos
me
there?
later with your new recipe?
I'd have to try it first, make sure it works. But I'm sure.
You know, there's a lot of experimentation into these camping recipes. Let me tell you,
I bet. So burritos, same thing. You could substitute if you don't want the beef. You could substitute turkey or chicken. Salt, make sure it's good salt like sea salt or pink Himalayan. Taco seasoning mix. I would just be careful and read on the back. I think McCormick's is good, but some of them have MSG. I don't do well on MSG. You got refried beans. What did I do? I looked up something for you about refried beans use lard and beans. So if you don't want lard, which is like cow fat, you may want to just smash up some cooked, whatever other beans. Pinto, I think, is pinto what they use to make refried beans.
Okay.
And I just soak those. I have an instant pot, so I pre-soak beans by putting hard dry beans in a pot, doubling the amount with water, and letting it go for about 30 minutes in my instant pot. Then I rinse the beans. And it gets off that outer coating that God put on so it doesn't sprout in your pantry.
Right.
So beans and nuts both have those coatings on them, so it's good to pre-soak overnight, or I just did in an instant pot if you're using beans that are dried.
Yeah, gotcha.
Okay, so then onion flakes, minced garlic. Love garlic. Can't get enough garlic. I would have put in like 3-4 times that amount.
Same here.
The tortilla, you can use whole wheat if you want. And shredded cheddar cheese. If you don't want dairy, there is Daya. It's a company that makes an alternative, and it's Daiya. And then picante sauce. I'm not sure what's in that either, but I don't think you can mess that up too badly.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, that's very informative. Of course, I'm going to go back and watch the replay of this show so that I can take some better notes on that, because I like those suggestions you made.
Right.
Appreciate that.
I'm always wondering, like, what can I eat when I go climb? Because I needed the energy, but I want still healthy. So it's really like tricky. So
do you ever hard-boil eggs so that you have protein?
I do eat egg. Yeah. Usually that's the easiest, like, a way I can have like a good food when I'm climbing. So eggs always.
Yeah. Eggs, nuts, cheese sticks are all protein forms and kind of easy to transport.
Yeah, and it is easier. So let me ask you, are we getting the same benefits from these healthy food alternatives like carbs and the energy levels we get from foods like sugar?
So my thought is, if you're climbing, if you do need the energy, and if you are outdoors and you can only carry so much weight, I would use a good, healthy, non-bleached cane sugar so that you do get better carbohydrates. Monk fruit doesn't have that same sugar rush. Monk fruit is for diabetics, so it's not going to spike the insulin. When you're out climbing, I know I've hiked before where it's like I needed sugar. My brain was like bad, and I think I had to have a couple chocolates or something because I was ready to just fall over. And I know how it is, and if you can only carry so much weight, you want to make sure you have enough calories.
Yeah, it's true. And let me ask you something else. That's true that people who runs marathon brings like salt with them to eat during the run?
I never ate anything when I ran. I did stop and drink at slow down to get a cup and keep running to drink to make sure I had enough water. But I wasn't a big one. Are you talking those gel packs? Is that what you were talking about? That goo, that stuff?
Literally Sauve. I saw people eating Sauve, like literally.
SALT?
Salt, yes. Sorry, my accent. Sorry, guys.
That's right. I can't speak your language. I just want to make sure I understand what you're saying.
I cannot speak your language neither. So
Yeah, I mean, some people, maybe they do need a little bit of extra salt. There are really good electrolytes out there that come in those little packs right now that you can just put in like in your pouch if you're running, and then just add it to whatever cup of water if you want as you're running too. So
Interesting.
And also just other forms of electrolytes that are healthy are celery juice and watermelon. So instead of Gatorade that has your high fructose corn syrup, believe it or not, even celery sticks. Celery sticks are like a natural electrolyte.
Wow.
nice.
Yep.
Did not know that. Interesting.
Yeah, me neither. That's really good to know. Well, we'll be back with more of Outdoors People right after these messages.
A few years ago, someone asked Rutabaga's owner, Darren Bush, "Hey, how long have you guys been selling boats?" Darren replied, "Well, we don't sell boats. We sell time on the water." Of course, that comes in all types. We help people paddle more safely with Rutabaga outdoor programs. We rent canoes, kayaks, and stand-up paddleboards. We sell and install racks to get you from home to adventure. Rutabaga's got everything you need to get you out on the water, like paddles, life jackets, dry bags, and clothing. Rutabaga Paddle Sports, on the web at rutabaga.com. Mention you saw this ad on The Camping Show.
It is time to go camping. Introducing Campground View's virtual tours. You can tour the campground, see the sites, see if they are available, and click to book your perfect spot. Hit the open road and explore the amazing places found in nature. We make it easy to discover, find, and book your site so that you can go have the fun and freedom you seek. Campground View's virtual tours make it easy and simple for you to see where you are going.
Duluth Pack is handcrafted for every lifestyle, making memories since 1882. In store at 365 Canal Park Drive or online at duluthpack.com.
We're one big family, a community of paddlers, and we want to make sure that everyone has a great time out on the water.
We are made right here in Sparta, Tennessee, USA.
This is where every Jackson kayak is born, built by hand with a focus on innovation.
We are Jackson Kayak.
We are Jackson Kayak.
We're Jackson Kayak.
We are Jackson Kayak.
And we're back with our guest Kim Alexis here on Outdoors People. Kim, we're gonna some questions here. We're gonna ask you about personal hygiene, and I know Maya wants to know about the infrared sauna and your exercise routine. But first, let's take a look at some of those photos that you sent us. Juan, if you could put those up, we'll have Kim tell us a little bit about each of them. Good. There we go.
Oh, so that's my husband. We were actually dating, the one with the white mouchoir handkerchief there. And the other gentleman is John O'Hurley, and then it's Kathy Lee Gifford. So we were at a ball for Child Help, and Child Help helps over 1 million abused children around the country. It's a great organization.
Oh, cool.
Excellent.
But because of that organization, my husband was actually helping them try to acquire land. That's how we started dating, because I was interested in hearing more about this event. And so that's the first thing he's asked me to do, because it was in DC and I was living in New York City at the time. So he says, "Would you like to go with me?" And I said, "Sure."
Yeah. I like that. Nice.
Salad. But this is hysterical because I have no idea what's coming up. That's my bowl. That's my corn, that's my cabbage. So this is a salad. I have a friend that actually calls this crack salad because he loves it so much. So it's green cabbage and purple cabbage. And purple vegetables have anthocyanins cyanins, which are just very beneficial. I wish I could spit off everything right now, but I can't. So I put in the cabbage. I chop both of those up, and then I add olive oil, healthy cold pressed olive oil, because you never heat up the salad, so you can use cold pressed. I use a little bit of maple syrup, a little bit of a mother's vinegar, something that's healthy like an apple cider vinegar, and garlic. And you just mix all that together, and it is crack salad, as my friend calls it. He makes me bring it every time we come to an event.
Sounds really good, and I didn't realize that the purple cabbage was so much healthier than the regular.
Yeah, purple everything, purple onions, purple berries, elderberries. I just did something that'll come out on elderberries because that's purple. So it's just anthocyanins are very beneficial. I could spell it, but I can't tell you all the benefits of it.
And also taste better. I like the most.
Yeah.
Like the purple onions, like the
there you
taste
go.
better actually.
Yeah. Well, maybe you need it too if you're craving it.
Yeah.
What else you got? Who knows what kind? Oh, there's some. So that's
there we go.
Arizona. We got him in December, right before Christmas. So that's probably like days before Christmas. And he, at that point, was 56 pounds. And immediately it was just such a love bug, as you can see. So my husband took that, and he's still a love bug, but he's a lot bigger now. Oh, all right. So that's me in the middle with the white belt on, hair shorter. And I was the host of a show called She's Got the Look, and it was finding models over 35. So this was our original cast of 20 in the first season, first episode of the season. We would knock it down to 10 and then work with them each week to have them do different modeling scenarios and see how they handled things. And then we got down to a final winner.
Nice.
That was on TV Land for a couple of years.
Okay.
Yep.
And our last picture. Nice. Well, thank you for that. Well, Kim, with regard to, and this is interesting because I saw you had a post about this, with regard to personal hygiene products, what's your opinion about sunscreens and shampoos?
Well, they're two different things, but sunscreens, I actually typed out stuff. There are a lot of, so there's two types of sunscreens. One is something that you put on your skin and it absorbs into your skin and works from the inside. So it's systemic. The other one is topical. So when you put it on, it stays as perched on the top of your skin and protects it from the outside. I like a healthy product it's the Badger product. But when I put it on my face, I feel like I have this purple sheen because of the oxide. What is it? Not aluminum oxide. What is it?
Oh,
zinc oxide.
Yeah.
So, but I started looking up because over the years, I've heard some people say, I mean, everyone's always talking about how great sunblock is. And I'm like, why? We need vitamin D. Right. And why would God make something that would cause us to have cancer? So I started looking into it, and obviously some people cannot handle a lot of sun and they do need something. If you can wear some type of clothing that helps with sun blocking, that's good. I'm not a big believer in spreading a bunch of chemicals on your body to keep out something it can be beneficial for you. So I'm not a big sunblock believer. I looked into it. The FDA kind of turns a blind eye, and there are up to 10 or 20 different bad chemicals in there, and some are even carcinogenic. So got to be careful of which sunblocks you do use. I would prefer to look purple than to have those chemicals go in my system.
Right.
Whoa, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good call, because here it is so warm and the sun, it is so hard. Like everyone's use sunscreen every day, including myself. So for sure, I will look for a good one now. I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, 30 minutes though is good for your body. You do need vitamin A. Vitamin D. And vitamin D is created through your skin. And just as another thing, I bet you didn't know this, that vitamin D comes in either D3 or D2. There is a vitamin D2. The vitamin D3, if you're a vegan, you don't want, because most likely it's made from sheep's lanolin, the oil from the sheep.
Whoa.
So they take whatever so the sheep gets the sun converts to vitamin D, they take it off of the skin, and that is your vitamin D.
Oh, wow.
Vitamin D2 comes from different sources. It might not be as effective, but at least if you're staying vegan, you're not eating sheep's skin.
Yeah, right. I like that. Yeah.
So much we don't know. Oh my gosh.
I know. When you start studying, you can get crazy. I mean, you don't want to buy anything. You get to be this very skeptical. You pick something up, I'm like, oh, I don't know. I can't pronounce that. I don't know if it's good or not.
Yeah.
So there are some apps that you can get. One is actually called Think Dirty, and it's an app that helps you find shampoos and cleaning products and things. Another one is EWG, and they both have different products in there. Some that I look at, they don't have. If you go to a health food store, they may not have a smaller company's products on there, but some of your big main ones, they do. And I hope by speaking more and more about it, that your big companies will start recognizing they want free and clear of all bad chemicals.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. So shampoo does the same thing. So we shampoo our hair, and obviously it can absorb through your scalp, whatever you put on your hair. And some people might say, oh, but it's just so perfect and my hair is great. Well, at what cost? I'm always saying at what cost? So you may lose 10 years of your life. Who knows? I don't know. But it's just not worth it to me. So there are many, many options out there that are much cleaner than some of the ones we may have been using. And it, as we're rinsing out our hair, it's sliding down your back, and your skin is absorbing it that way also. So you just want to be careful what shampoo, conditioner, all of it, everything we put on our hair, skin, moisturizer, all of it.
Yeah.
Oh, but
great point.
I feel like washing my face right now after this conversation. Like, oh my gosh, what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
But it's really good to know. I for sure will make some changes, promote some changes. And tell us about the infrared you posted on social media.
Yeah, so I was in my garage and I'm like, I just love my infrared machine. I used to have a wooden one, and they make some big, beautiful wooden ones. Even Costco sells them, 2 or 3 seaters. And so infrared is it uses a different type of light. So it's not like your regular sauna like you normally have in your health club, where you go into the sauna and the atmosphere itself, that temperature from the atmosphere heats you up. An infrared sauna goes and penetrates through into your skin and heats you from the inside out, but not like a microwave. It's not in a bad way. So it's good for your skin. It helps you detox. It helps you burn calories. You can burn like 600 calories in there in an hour, but do not stay in an hour. It is good for sweating, of course. And when you sweat, you just get rid of whatever you don't want in your system. My son was smoking a lot and went in our infrared for a while. And I always put a carpet on the bottom. And he had literal tar coming out of his skin onto the carpet.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I bring in a water in a container that has a cooling system so that the ice doesn't melt, or I keep it right outside and just open the door and get water, because after about 25, 30 minutes, you're going to want to drink.
Yeah, you're going to need it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So let me ask you this. What is your approach to exercising and staying fit? What is your personal approach to those two things?
I was fortunate enough when I was young. I started swimming competitively when I was 6 at the Y, and my sister was 4. So I had that as part of a routine. It was part of my lifestyle. It was always built into whatever I did all the way through high school. And so when I went to New York, number one, I was told I was too heavy. So I was 145 pounds at 5'10", and I was swimming 5.5 hours a day. So I wasn't fat, but I was muscular. And I was a butterflyer. So I had the big lats from doing the.
Oh, wow.
So I was told to lose weight. So then when I was in New York, I didn't work out for a while, and I had to think, and I really had to contemplate, okay, what's wrong? Why am I not happy? What's missing? And so I realized that I wanted to start working out again. And I did something really silly, which I don't recommend it. But when I was swimming all the time, the wrestlers would come in. We lived in Buffalo, so it was cold outside in the winter. But in the swimming pool, as you know, it's pretty steamy and warm, right? So we would have the wrestlers come in, and they would put like either some type of sweatsuit on or garbage bags and run our bleachers, up and down our bleachers.
Oh, wow.
To sweat off weight. So crazy me, I'm first in New York, living by myself, 18 years old. And I'm like, I'm going to put on a garbage bag, and I'm going to. And so you could hear me, as I was running by people. And I don't know if it helped me lose weight or whatever, but I felt pretty good afterwards. I realized in New York that it was easier to run. It was hard to find pools. So I started with running up and down the streets in New York, as I said, and then got back into weights. So some of what we did in the pool was to go out and go into the gym and lift weights. And then I got a best girlfriend, and so she was a trainer, and so she taught me a lot of stuff. I've trained with a lot of different people over the years, so now I know what I'm doing, and just love going in and going on the bench and the dumbbells and lifting with all the guys, and that to me is more fun than the machine. So
that's cool. And do you still using plastic bags?
No. No, I go in the infrared sauna. I don't need it.
Sounds better.
Now, in the summer in Arizona here, because it shows the temperature that it is when you turn it on. This morning, my temperature, or last night, I was in it last night, it was 62 in my garage. In the summer, it starts out at like 104, and then it can go up to almost 130. So last night I got it from 62 to 105.
Oh, feels like Brazil.
Yeah.
And about that, how was your exercise routine different from when you were in your 20s and 30s?
Yeah, when I was in my 20s and 30s is when I ran a lot of my marathons. My last marathon I ran, I was 46. And I realized that I gained 15 pounds from running. And so I asked a bunch of different people, different nutritionists, different people that were in fitness. And I said, what the heck is the problem? Why would I gain weight running 20 miles, one day, and maybe at the most 40 miles a week? And so it was because my adrenals were shot. And so I had to realize, for me, less was more. I didn't need to work out as hard. And I know that there's still some coaches and trainers out there that are like, move it, go, go, go. And my mindset, as everyone who knows me, is like, okay, I'm going to beat everyone, and I'm going to I'll go until I drop. And then I realized it's not good for me, and I need to take 3 days off because I'm kind of wrecked.
Yeah.
So I know I need to support my adrenal system, and it is not by overtraining. So I have cut way back on what I do. My husband and I go to the gym about this time. He normally goes about this time. I think he's here. And so sometimes maybe 2-3 times a week, I'll go and do dumbbells I can do a circuit in 15 minutes if I do 4 different things 3 times each. And then sometimes I'll lift another whole set and do other body parts, or otherwise I'll go and do cardio. So for cardio, I have been benched from running because my knee started to give out, and my big dog crashed into me one day. He didn't mean to, but he was so excited, and he was coming back to mama. I zigged and he zigged instead of zagged. So he hit my knee, and I think I tore my meniscus. So don't do well running. I end up in so much pain and I went to the doctor, and he's like, you're done. I'm benching you. So now I row and I bike, inside and outside. I'm not a big elliptical person. I have done it. I used to do Stairmaster for 60 minutes full blast when I was in my 20s. I can't do it anymore.
Oh yeah.
So, as you know, we age, and we have to just
we do. We do. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to jump past the commercial break here, Maya, and because we've got about 2 minutes left, because I want to ask her this question here. Make sure we get time for it. What gets you motivated each day, Kim, to stay positive in your life? That's a biggie.
I think that's just the kind of person I am. I enjoy finding the good in people. I enjoy just staying positive. I feel better. I feel more at peace. Looking for good in situations. I do have a strong faith in God, and so things I cannot change, I turn over to Him. So that keeps me peaceful. And also, when we feel good and healthy inside, we're able to give better to other people. If we don't feel good inside, a lot of times you just get mean.
So true. Yeah, so true.
Yeah, it's good to take care of yourself so that you can take care of others. And I find if I do get depressed or do start feeling bad or down on myself, I go out and volunteer and help someone else. Because when I help someone else, I stop focusing on myself. I think a lot of depressed people are too self-focused. And so we need to look to other people and realize someone else somewhere has it worse than you. And I don't mean to discount, because we all go through problems and I have had my own, but it does help to know that someone else is going through something harder, and maybe you can go out and cheer someone else up.
That's a great outlook. I mean, honestly, I never thought about that. When you focus on helping someone else, that takes the focus off of whatever you're going through. That's
That's really sweet of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kim, where can people follow you on social media?
I think you got the little thing going down below, so I don't have to say too much. So
yeah. This is just for the podcast people. When they hear it, they will get the visual.
So Instagram is and then what's that lower line? And then Kim Alexis?
Underscore. Yeah.
Underscore. Underscore Kim Alexis. And then Twitter's the Kim Alexis. And Facebook is Facebook is the underscore Kim Alexis, I guess. And then I have a YouTube, Kim Alexis. So some people steal my name. Like they try to take different names of me. So I had to put, I'm the Kim Alexis. So that's why.
Is that really what happened? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they steal stuff. I had to get my website back. I had to pay for my website name. Kim Alexis. Someone had taken it. So yeah.
Well, see, everybody wants to be Kim Alexis. You see?
No. I think they take a bunch of people and think that they can make money on it. And of course, we want our name. So
I can see that. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, if anyone's on the verge of being famous, go buy the website domain now and hold on to it.
There you go. There's some good advice. Well, Kim, listen, we want to thank you for being our guest here on Outdoors People. It was an absolute pleasure having you here with us.
Well, thank you. And go out there and enjoy nature and have fun.
There you go. Good stuff.
Good call. We would also like to thank each of our sponsors for bringing you tonight's show: Rutabaga Paddle Sports, Campground Views, Duluth Pack, and Jackson Kayak.
Be sure to tune in for next week's episode, Honey Fire Mother-Daughter Debut Album, with our special guests, Cheza and Marie. Until then, for Maya Marzaki, this is CW Getz saying thank you for tuning in to Outdoors People. See you next week.
Ciao.